Hi, welcome to Enchanted Fireside. My name is Dan. Today we're going to be showing you how to change a gasket on your pellet stove. And this gasket material here is to make a seal on the front of your door for your cast steel insert, and for your Santa Fe stove. And the reason we change this out about once a year, or a little more frequently if needed, is when the gasket gets frayed at the top like this, or when the ends of the gasket get loose. You're not going to make a proper seal to the stove. So to begin today, we're going to show you how to remove the glass from the door. This is a door from a Santa Fe model stove. It'll be different for whichever model you have. We're just going to take a Phillips head screwdriver and a regular hammer. And there's two rods on the side of the gasket holding the glass in place, as you can see, on the left and the right side. And what we're going to do is tap on the bottom of this rod towards the top of the door, just lightly, until that pops out of place. Same on both sides. And those rods will slide up and then pull back through the door. We'll just place those to the side for now. Now you will be able to remove the door. You can push up from the bottom. Set that up here. And now you have your glass frame. On the opposite side of this, if we flip it over, you have the side of the gasket material that has adhesive on it. And that's all just self-adhesive. It comes on the new roll here, just with a piece of tape. And what we're going to do is we're going to just peel it off from one side. You can start wherever. And get that off nice. And it is going to leave a little bit of a residue on the door, depending on what door you have. And before we put the new gasket on, we want to make sure we get rid of that residue. And with just a regular utility blade, basically take the sharp end of it and slide that across the face of the glass and remove that residue. It may take a little bit of elbow grease. Now that we've cleaned this side of the glass, we're going to actually tip it up on its end and make sure that the sides of the glass are clean as well. So if you run that blade down the side just a few times, you'll be able to remove all of the excess adhesive. And then we'll flip it on its other side and do the same thing as we did before. Until all of that's right off. So at this point, we've cleaned both sides of our piece of glass, all of the adhesive off of the corners. And you'll notice that on one side of your glass on the bottom, there's a strip of the gasket material that's adhered to it. If that's not out of shape, if that's not frayed like the rest of the gasket, we're going to leave that in place and then put our new gasket material on. Starting from one end of the gasket, we're going to peel back a little bit of this tape, just about 6 inches or so. And we're going to tape some material around the end of this so that it doesn't begin to fray from the end. So on the bag that came with the gasket material that you get from Enchanted Fireside, there's a piece of tape here. We're just going to peel that off. And just cut about, say again, another 6-inch section of that. Just be careful here. And starting from where the sticky part of this is, we're going to attach that right to the end. Make sure it makes a nice connection there. And then again, we'll cut it just to length. We don't want to go over this end of the gasket, the flat side here. There we go. And then to protect the end of it, we're going to come across it just like this. And squeeze those ends together. And then cut the excess off. Just like that. And that's going to protect the life of the gasket as well. We're going to peel the rest of this back. Take the piece of glass, and you're going to go about halfway, not quite halfway, over the sticky part of the gasket material. And you're going to press that down and fold that material over, making sure it's a nice seal all the way around. So once you have one side on there, we're going to flip the glass over. And just so that we can get around the corner, we're going to cut a little notch out of this material here, just the sticky flat side. You can actually do a little triangle. We're going to cut like that. And then bring this side around. Peel some more of that back. You're probably going to be left over with a little bit of extra gasket material after this project. And from this end, starting from this side, again we're going to cover about half of that sticky material with the glass. We'll just work our way down to the end here. There we go. Make sure that's on there good. Fold that side over. Make sure the corners are nice and tight as well. I like to just follow my thumb all the way down. And again, when we get to the corner here, we'll flip it over. We'll make that same notch. Just like we did before. Flip it one more time just so you can see. And we'll come right down the last end of the glass. Fold that over. Once we get to the end here, you're going to cut off whatever's left over. We're going to put that same adhesive that we had taken off the bag. Press that down and wrap it around. And we just want to cover that thick part. We'll fold this side over like we did before. Pinch the ends together and give that one last snip. There we go. Now we're going to take our frame of the pellet stove that you have. Now with one of the rods in place on the left side here, we're going to put the other side in as well. And sometimes what I like to do is push down on the rod. This can be a little bit tricky with a flathead screwdriver. And in your other hand with a hammer, you may need two people to do this. We're going to tap on the end of that rod, and that's going to line right up into the hole on the bottom, just like it originally was. With both rods in place and the new gasket material on, we have now changed a gasket material for your cast steel insert, and your Santa Fe pellet stove.